Well, it's Tuesday already. This week is just dragging, but that's okay. I'm glad to have you all here today. This is an independent study day for you. It is not a day off. And we are on session IC7 today. It is Tuesday, the 3rd of November. Your I can statement is I can become a more powerful reader. Please make sure that you are putting these notes in your notebook. Please make sure that you are doing your assignments. As I said, this is not a day off for you, it is not a day off for me. So, um, I want to remind you all, and of course, on an independent workday, you don't have to do this, but on normal school days, be sure you're doing your attendance. Be sure you are checking your email every day, multiple times a day. Important things come in email. And I've gotten so many emails from you asking me questions that were answered several times in emails from the county, from the school, from me. And then you email me and say, I don't get this. Well, you didn't read your email. So read your email and read. You need to read at least 30 minutes a day, every day. It builds your reading muscles, trust me. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So, there are a couple of modules on the shelf. I tried to make it a pretty simple day for you. If you have not watched the NC check in video and you have not done an NC check in yet, you need to get that done ASAP. Okay? Tomorrow morning, there will be a book club announcement. That means you need to check your Canvas. I will announce the book clubs, where you're going to meet, and when you're going to meet. So you need to plan to meet with your book clubs tomorrow. The reason I'm doing it that way is because nobody has classes on Wednesdays. And some of our groups are multi tiered, that is, that you have people from more than one class period. So, in order for you to meet, it has to be on a day when you all have time to do that. Um, Meetings are a requirement, attendance will be taken. So, make sure that you show up for those meetings. And there will be a video tomorrow about how that's going to work and what it's going to look like. So, don't worry about it now. I just want you to get prepared. Make sure you check your email, make sure you check Canvas. There will be an announcement about book clubs, and your book clubs will meet tomorrow. That will be the 4th of November, I believe. Um, and I want to talk about the weekly planner. I've talked to a few of you about this, and I really feel it's important to get organized. It helps me, and I hate to be organized, but I love the process and I love the outcome. I don't know how that works, but it does. My mind goes everywhere, just as I'm sure yours does. And if you try to put things into little compartments, it's a lot easier to get done and you work much more effectively, which means you'll work less. Isn't that a great idea? So, before we start the weekly planner, let's go back to what I was talking about before, and that is becoming a more powerful reader. And that's what I want to teach you about today. It's a lot like becoming a more powerful soccer player. Those of you who play sports know the way you improve is to practice. The way you improve is to be active in the sport. So, if you want to improve, it's worth taking that time to practice your reading. The more you read, the easier it gets. So, let's look at IC7 Practice It. And it says it doesn't exist, so that's okay. I have a plan. Here we go. Here it is. So, it says, and this is important to do today so that you're prepared for tomorrow. So it says tomorrow you'll join your book clubs and begin your reading journey. You've done a lot of work reflecting. We've talked a lot about perspectives and point of view and characterization, but it's time to really put that into use. So tomorrow you're going to meet with your book clubs and make some plans. So as you start your new novels, you need to do your smartest thinking right from the start. Just start right and end well. That's the only way to do it. You've learned to investigate perspective. You've learned to talk about those things with us in class. You've learned about major characters, minor characters, There's going to be a lot of that now. We've been reading short stories, so obviously a novel is going to be more complex. And that means that you need to pay really close attention. Because it's digital, they say to use sticky notes here, but of course that's difficult to do. I would keep a journal in a notebook if it were me, write it down by hand. If you are truly 100% a digital person, then type your notes on a Google Doc, but always have notes. And think about these sticky notes that you see. It says, when investigating perspective, readers consider these things: the perspective of the main characters, the perspective of the minor characters, the narrative point of view, like who's telling the story. Is it the main character telling the story, or is it someone who's not even part of the story telling the story? How their own perspectives on the characters change. So, the narrator, how the narrator's perspective might change, or how the main character might change. How the author channels the reader's sympathy. And that's an interesting one, because sympathy means you tend to think it means feel sorry for, but it doesn't technically mean that. It just means relatability. Um, so sometimes an author will give you certain pieces of information and withhold others in order to steer you in a certain direction of how you feel about a character. And then later on, they'll reveal something else, and it might make the way you feel change. And that is not an accident, ladies and gentlemen. That is an on purpose. So pay attention to that. And moments when the characters display vastly different perspectives. So if you've got two characters that have look at something completely differently, kind of like the snack attack video you watched yesterday, sometimes in the same situation, two people see things entirely differently. So pay close attention to that. Um, Let me go back over here. Let's see. All right, your evidence of learning today, it's pretty simple. It's not real long and involved, but it will require some thought on your parts. I want you to start preparing to meet with your book clubs tomorrow. That means any questions or ideas for your club, you need to submit on this form. As you meet with your book clubs, you need to make a plan. I expect all of you to meet on Wednesdays, but what time you meet is entirely up to your club. I just need to know when that is. Um, you need to think about ways to keep your club on track. Make sure everybody's doing their reading. Where are you pretty sure you could do your most powerful work? So when you're working with your book club, where are you going to be that you can focus on your book club and not be distracted by other things? What responsibilities should be assigned? There are different roles in a book club. There's a secretary, and there's a librarian, and there's an illustrator. There are a lot of roles that you can have, and I'll roll that out for you tomorrow as well. Ha, roll. Um, think about what part you might talk. Do you want to be the moderator? Do you want to be the one in charge and saying, okay, let's keep on track here, guys? Okay. Do you want to be the person who takes the notes? Do you want to be the person who keeps time? Because when you meet, you should say, okay, we're going to meet for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Doesn't have to be long. But you got to keep time and you got to keep track, because if you only have 15 minutes, you have to spend that 15 minutes working, and everyone needs to show up on time. Um, and think about how you can get the most out of the book that you chose. I want you to enjoy the books. So, any ideas that you have, and these are just ideas, there's no right or wrong here, submit those answers in your discussion points below and bring them to your Wednesday book club meeting. Make sure that you take them with you, and then you guys as a group will discuss them and make decisions based on all of your ideas. So that will be something that you need to prepare Tuesday for your Wednesday meeting. All right, and the last thing that I really need to talk to you about today, I've talked about weekly planners with several of you, and you can either buy one, make one, or you will have, if you look in your modules, I put a weekly planner right before IC7. And it looks like this. And it's just a way to organize your time so you work more efficiently. You know that expression, work smarter, not harder. Well, that's what I want you to do. So if you look at this, I've laid out the week and I've put 7 days in. I really would like for you not to have to work at schoolwork on the weekends. I feel like that should be your days off. You have Wednesday and you have Friday to do schoolwork to get everything done so that you shouldn't have to do anything on the weekend. I realize some teachers give you weekend assignments. That's out of my control. But I have included here 3 subjects. So you can, when you open this up, you'll make a copy of it. And your copy, you'll say weekly planner for whatever your name is, and then put the date over here, the week of whatever the date is going to be. That way you know this is your plan for this week. Now, after that, I've put in my times. So let's say I have ELA from 9:20 to 10:20, and I have math from 10:30 to 11:30, and I have social studies from 12 to 1. Okay, so I've put those in. Remember, this is just a let's say. It's an example for you to follow. Okay, so on Monday, I plan to read the first 4 chapters of Gym Candy. And then I'm going to go into Flipgrid, and I'll talk more about that tomorrow. I'm going to go into Flipgrid, and I am going to watch the video question and respond to it in video. You can also respond to it in writing, but I want the video as well. And complete IC6 that is due this Friday. Okay, so remember, this is a mock up, this is a pretend. Tuesday, I'm going to read chapters 5 through 8 of Gym Candy. Now, remember, I have to read for 30 minutes a day anyway. There's my reading. So now I've put 2 things into one. I've done my independent reading book for my book club, and I've done my 30 minutes of reading that's required. So 2 things jammed into one. So chapters 5 through 8 of Gym Candy, IC7, which will be due Friday, and a learning farm activity analyzing theme. It's important to put what the activity is called, because otherwise you're going to go, what was that? What was this? On Wednesday, this is an independent work day. So I put that down here, independent work day. Here are all the things I need to get done on this day. There's going to be a teacher assigned to iReady, analyzing theme. I'm going to finish up IC6 from Monday, which I maybe hadn't finished yet. My book club meeting is scheduled for 10:30, so I'll meet with my book club from 10:30 to 10:45 or 10:50. And I'm only going to read 2 chapters today because I'm going to give myself a break. So chapters 9 and 10 of Gym Candy. Then on Thursday, I'm going to read 4 chapters again, 11 through 14 of Gym Candy. I'm going to complete the book club assignment that I have, and you'll see that also tomorrow. And there's a vocabulary quiz. Friday is an independent work day. I didn't fill this one out, but that would be to finish up anything from these first 4 days that is not finished. So if I didn't finish IC6, I didn't finish IC7, I'd put those in here. If I have not read to chapter 14, I need to read from chapter 9 to 14. Okay, anything from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday that I did not complete, I will fill in on Friday. And I'm going to try my hardest to get it done, even if it really pains me. Because if I get all of this done, then I don't have any schoolwork on Saturday. I don't have any schoolwork on Sunday. Okay? That's how that works. It's pretty simple. You can print out a copy of this if you have a printer. You are going to make your own copy, so you can just type on it here online if you want to. This is not a grade. This is a suggestion. I think it's a good idea. I'll be disappointed if some of you don't do it, but I know most of you won't. And I'm only trying to help you. Trust me, I really am only trying to help you, because we forget. We forget when we have to do things. I forget all the time when I have meetings. That's why I set alarms on my phone. That alarm will go off and I'm like, what's that for? And I go look at it like, oh, I have a meeting in 15 minutes. Because I forget. So I do that. I put things on my phone. I make a planner. I have to do these things because I don't remember. Remember when I told you that your memory is terrible and so is mine? We remember the big picture, but we don't remember the little details sometimes. And those little details are the things that are the most important. So I would like to see that you've done this. I really would like you to turn it into me so that I can see that you're I guess, taking my advice. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to lie to you. This is not a graded assignment. Okay. So if you don't turn it in, I guess that's fine if that's what you want. If that makes you happy and you think you have everything under control, good on you. Um, Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I will be around pretty much during the day today. Um, as I said, it is a school day for you. And don't think that the students in the brick and mortar schools got today off. They didn't. It is also an independent study day for them, and their teachers have given them assignments. So it is not a day off for any of us. Don't assume it is, and don't make it a day off. And that is all I have to say to you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a lovely Tuesday, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.